Very good evening, all of you. I am Sandeep Singhi, and today we are here to discuss the new changes which SEBI has come up with. And today we have with us Mr. Samir, Mr. Manish Kanchan, Sudha, and Radin to discuss about the new changes. And it is important to understand also what are the new changes, and this will help to address the investor queries as well. So, before taking any much further time, I would like to share his thoughts on the subject.
Sandeep, somebody has written they can't hear you. Am I audible, guys?
Yeah, Samir, I can hear you.
Yes, Samir, we can hear you.
I think that would be probably an earlier message.
Okay. Okay, so we see almost 1,000 people and numbers are growing. So that's so nice. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm sure many of you are joining from different parts of the country. And the call also has a lot of our colleagues from different branches. This call is largely for our partners, whether they are individual distributors or national distributors or banking partners, etc. So I welcome you all, and let me start by wishing a very happy Holi to all of you. So I know it was celebrated on different days in the last week. But best wishes, to all of you, and I'm sure as we inch towards ending the year, my wishes are that this year goes well for all of you. Obviously, regulators constantly keep looking at various regulations, and they issue new regulations which have to be implemented. In the short term, sometimes they may cause a little bit of pain, but in my own experience and your own experience, I'm sure you'll agree that in the long term, the intent is that, it benefits the client. It helps us get complete information of the investor and his family, so that if something untoward happens, then the money can be transferred without any problems. And untoward does not necessarily mean only losing somebody. It could be anything, which makes an investor reach or ask for help. So some of these certainly, help the investor in the long run, and they also help prevent. Okay, I see. Am I clearer now? I hope. I try and speak a little louder, and I hope it's better than before. And the second reason I think some of these changes are going to help us is they will ensure that. Okay, I'm getting a lot of messages saying voice quality is not good. Can some of you hear me well? Sandeep?
Yes, Samir. We can hear you well.
Yeah, we can hear you well. It's loud and clear.
So I think most people are able to hear. I think maybe some of you are facing challenges at the local level. I also have read a few messages where people have said speak in English or Hindi. So I'll try and explain whatever if possible in Hindi. So the idea is that there are about 4 or 5 regulations that are going to come from 1st of April. Let me just explain some of those. And ladies and gentlemen, if something is not clear, we'll be happy to answer your questions. You can go to the branch and take more clarification. But given that we have such a large audience here, let me just start with the presentation. So I'll share my screen with all of you. So I'm just trying to put this in the presentation mode, Sandeep.
Yeah.
Has it come?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the 5 regulation changes that we will talk about today is PAN Aadhaar linking, folios without PAN and PECRAN, nominations for existing investors. There is an update on two-factor authentication if you are doing an online transaction, and re-KYC of Aadhaar-based KYC record. And I will explain each one of them one at a time. So I think it is mandatory for us to link our PAN with Aadhaar. It had come a couple of years ago, but there were some extensions given by the government and SEBI. But now from 1st of April, it is mandatory that all your clients' PANs are linked to their Aadhaar card in the CBDT database. So there is no further extension. If the PAN is not linked to Aadhaar, it is treated as inoperative, which in simple terms means that it is same as no PAN case. तो अगर आपके पैन और आधार लिंक नहीं है तो दैट इज इक्वल टू पैन नहीं होना, मतलब पैन नहीं है, सारे जो रेगुलेशंस हैं वो उस पे अप्लाई होंगे. And sorry, I forgot to say, maybe we will take the questions in the end. Given that we have such a large audience, we will lose track of presentation if we take questions at the beginning. So please bear with me. So PAN और आधार लिंकिंग में exceptions क्या-क्या है? Of course, you know that in Sikkim PAN is not there. So obviously, PAN is not mandatory for people who are residents of Sikkim. And government has given an exemption that PAN and Aadhaar linking is not mandatory in Jammu and Kashmir, Assam, Meghalaya, or if you are a non-resident as per the Income Tax Act, or if you are above the 80 years of age during this financial year, or if you have a PECRAN, because PECRAN can't be linked to Aadhaar. Other than that, ये exceptions के अलावा PAN और आधार लिंक करना मैंडेटरी है. और अगर PAN और आधार लिंक नहीं होंगे तो PAN will be, as I said, treated inoperative, which means कि अगर client KYC verified भी है तो that KYC will become invalid. He will become a no KYC or a non KYC client. The impact of this is same as no PAN or no KYC cases. All financial and non-financial transactions, including SIPs, will be stopped. Your existing SIPs will also be stopped, and no new additional purchase, redemption, or registration of a new SIP, SWP, STP, etc. None of them will be allowed. And the interest or IDCW or the dividend amount, will all be going to the unclaimed amount, because we will an unclaimed scheme, because we will not be in a position to pay the client. So your reinvestments and payout, transfer of dividend into another scheme, what we call as TIP, and FMP maturity payouts will all move to unclaimed. And given that this is treated as a no PAN case, I keep repeating, PAN inoperative means no PAN, that higher TDS will be applicable unless and also we submit form 15G for non-deduction of TDS in mutual fund, even we do it in our banks, that will also be not applicable. And since this is a no PAN case, I'm sure you know there is an existing regulation that if KYC is invalid, then the brokerage is held back. So in this case also, no PAN means no KYC, and hence brokerage will be held back. So my request to you will be that all of you please, ensure that your clients have their PAN and Aadhaar linked. There are multiple ways of doing it, and many people have done it over this last couple of years. आप इनकम टैक्स वेबसाइट पे जा सकते हैं, वहां पे लिंक कर सकते हैं. आप कैम्स के वेबसाइट पे जाके इट विल टेक यू टू द इनकम टैक्स वेबसाइट एंड लिंक इट. I think you can come to our own website also, and there is a linkage which will take you to the income tax website, and you will be able to link the PAN and Aadhaar of the client. And you can also do it via an SMS. So these processes are available. मैं इन processes को detail में नहीं जा रहा हूँ. Lekin if any of you have any queries or doubts, you can speak to our team members in the respective branches, or you can call our call center, and our teams will be able to provide you the answer. But it's a very easy thing. If the client has this PAN and Aadhaar available, then linking is not at all a difficult thing to do. With this, I'll move to the second case where without PAN and PECRAN. So what is the change here? ये PAN और PECRAN अगर नहीं है तो फाइनेंशियल और नॉन फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस पहले भी अलाउड नहीं थे. अभी सेबी ने क्या चेंज किया है? The change SEBI has done is that from earlier corporate actions like the dividend payout were allowed. Now from 1st April, if there is a no PAN PECRAN cases, then dividend payout will also not be allowed. So all the dividend of the client, and if there is an FMP maturity payout, it will be moved to unclaimed. In fact, SEBI in their regulation have said that if the client does not have a PAN, he will not be able to lodge any complaint with AMC for anything unless his PAN is updated. I mean, which in simple terms means the client has to come and update his PAN even before he can raise any other kind of a query or complaint or question, to the AMC. That these are the two, changes that they have included. So obviously, we have some products where we pay monthly dividends, and there are products where dividends are paid regularly. All of this will, move into unclaimed for the cases where there is no PAN PECRAN. Obviously, there is an exemption for Sikkim, and that this does not apply. But there also PECRAN is there. So if there is no PAN or PECRAN, then this exemption will apply. So since PAN is not there, Form 15G will not be accepted. TDS will be deducted at 20%, and then the dividend will be moved to unclaimed amount. You can update the PAN, and please read all these circulars together, because SEBI has a particular picture in their mind on how they are connecting all of these together. So PAN can be updated in the folio, but it has to be linked to Aadhaar. And then, of course, KYC needs to be done. And brokerage payable against cases where KYC is invalid will be held back, which I think is also the existing regulation. So, as I said, the only change in this, which you should know, is point number 2. That from 1st April onwards, the clients will not be able to get their, dividends. Whether it's a reinvestment or a payout, everything will be moved to unclaimed. That's the understanding. So these are folios. So this is the process for folios without PAN. Again, you can go to CAMS and update. You can give us a physical request. For if it's a minor folio, then PAN card copy of the guardian needs to be given. If it's a HUF, then PAN copy of the HUF has to be given. And if it's a non-individual, then PAN card copy of the concerned non-individual duly attested has to be given. And again, you can speak to our branches, and they can help you with a more detailed process of updating the PAN and PECRAN, and folios where PAN and PECRAN have to be updated, and then KYC have to be done. So I'll not spend too much time on this. The third circular, which is coming from 1st of April, is nomination for existing investors. So, जैसा आप लोग जानते हैं, already nomination has been made mandatory 2-3 months ago for the new clients. So, what has been made mandatory? Either you give a nomination or you do a opt-out, where you give a specific declaration saying, I'm not interested in, giving the nomination. This has been implemented for the new clients. For existing clients, from 1st April onwards, every client of ours should either have a nomination or a opt-out. And broadly, I think there is about 10-15%, data at an industry level where nomination or opt-out is not available. So, agar nomination or opt-out available nahi hai, so what is the impact here? The impact is that the debits will not be allowed, which means that, you will not be able to do redemptions, and there will be no FMP maturity payouts. And so far, our view is that IDCW or the dividend reinvestment and payout will be allowed, but I think the industry is discussing this with SEBI if they have a a different view on this, to come back and say that it is allowed or not. But the big impact is that FMP maturities and redemptions will be rejected. So that's the big impact. So मैं आप सबको request करूँगा कि please, and ये data branches में available है. ये data आपके client अगर online account है और login करेंगे तो उनको दिखेगा. नहीं तो बेस्ट है आप हमारे ब्रांचेस से ले सकते हैं. क्लाइंट्स का अगर अपडेटेड नहीं है नॉमिनेशन, मेरा रिक्वेस्ट तो रहेगा कि यू शुड ट्राई एंड गेट द नॉमिनेशन एंड नॉट ऑप्ट आउट. बट इफ इन very extreme case, if a client says that he does not want to give a nomination, then we should at least take an opt-out. And I think most of you know that for nominations, the first holder logic does not work, and we need signature of both the holders or 3 holders, as many holders are there. So there is a SEBI designed form, for nomination and opt-out, and that form has to be used. Many of this can be done online through CAM's website or through our SDFC website, or you can give a written request. For joint holders, we are still building the system. So I know CAMS is in a very advanced stage of building the system, where OTP can go to both the holders together separately, and they can approve. But for now, that system is under testing. So if that doesn't work, I think the best thing would be for joint holder, you can give a physical request, signed by 2 or 3 holders that we have. So that is the big impact of the circular on nomination. And my request would be that please, you should push that, because it will be very unfortunate if a client needs the money and we were to submit a redemption, and the transaction will get rejected. So this is about nomination. The next circular is about 2-factor authentication. This is only for those of you who use exchanges, or you are doing a transaction online. As you know, the 2-factor authentication was already implemented last year in June, July, where for redemption, switches, and systematic withdrawal plans, 2-factor authentication was implemented. Now SEBI has said that 2-factor authentication will be applicable for purchases and fresh SIP registrations also from 1st April. So basically, almost all transactions, will require 2-factor authentication from 1st April. The important point here is कि जैसा कि redemption के केस में भी हुआ था, whenever the system sends an OTP, either in exchange or channel partner, or whenever you are doing a transaction online, the OTP will go to the phone number or the email ID registered with the RTA. and it is not with the number registered, say, in the exchange database or in your local database, etc. For non-demat cases, it will go to the number registered with the RTA. For demat, obviously, depositories are doing the two-factor authentication, so RTA will not do anything additional, but the process holds. So this is on two-factor authentication. All these four circulars जो मैंने आप लोगों को अभी तक बताए हैं, they are applicable from 1st of April. And I will move to the last one. This is re-KYC or Aadhaar-based KYC. So let me explain this. What this means is कि बहुत सारे हमारे clients ने आधार सबमिट किया होगा as their officially valid document during doing their KYC. Now, which was acceptable and fine. However, recently SEBI has made it mandatory that from 1st of May, many of these people, when they had submitted their Aadhaar-based KYC, the Aadhaar number was not validated using the UIDAI website. Right? You can either scan the image QR code on the Aadhaar card, or you can generate an OTP-based KYC, something which we do in Aadhaar-based KYC, right? तो हमने सिर्फ फिजिकल आधार का कॉपी ले लिया, उसको रिडैक्ट कर दिया, बट हमने उसको वैलिडेट नहीं किया. तो SEBI has now mandated that 1st of May onwards, if the Aadhaar is not validated, then the KYC will be considered as invalid. तो जो भी हमारे clients ने आधार सबमिट किया था as a proof earlier, वो आधार कार्ड का KYC को उनको वैलिडेट करवाना पड़ेगा before 1st of May. Otherwise, on the 1st of May, the KRAs will change the status of that KYC as invalid. And all regulations that we spoke about, of invalid KYC, whatever we spoke earlier, will apply here also. So, as you know, for new clients, what are we doing? अगर आप branch में आते हो तो ब्रांच में एक ऐप होता है, उसके थ्रू आधार का कॉपी या आधार लेके स्कैन करके उसको वैलिडेट कर देते हैं. फॉर न्यू क्लाइंट्स, फॉर एग्जिस्टिंग क्लाइंट्स आल्सो वी शुड गेट इट डन 1st May ऑनवर्ड्स. इसमें चैलेंज ये है कि देयर इज नो वन डेटाबेस, क्योंकि क्लाइंट्स ने अलग अलग KRAs में अपना KYC किया है. So there is no one person who can today tell you, like CAMS or we cannot together tell you कि कौन-कौन से KYC में आधार authenticated नहीं है. What we will do is CAMS KRA, will pull out the data. जो भी आपके clients अगर CAMS KRA में हैं, तो client को इस month में एक link भेजेगा, जिससे कि client अपना आधार validate करा ले. और अगर ईमेल आईडी नहीं है तो फिजिकल लेटर भेजेगा ताकि वो आधार को रिवैलिडेट करा ले. लेकिन जिनके पास जिनका KYC दूसरे KRAs में है, लाइक CVL में या .x वगैरह में, I think that you have to connect with the KRA and get that information. The KRAs are also talking together to see how this process can be simplified. इसमें अभी complete picture बाकी है. अगले एक हफ्ते या 10 दिन में we will circulate a process note also for you on how to streamline and make this process as simple as possible. But today as we stand, अगर आपको पता है कि आपके क्लाइंट ने आधार दिया था और उन्होंने आधार ऑथेंटिकेट नहीं किया है, तो the solution is to get that आधार authenticated to ensure कि वो KYC invalid नहीं होता है. बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन मैंने आपको दिए हैं, तो इसमें से काफी कुछ आपके क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे which we will answer, बट ये इंफॉर्मेशन आपको कहाँ से मिलेगी, एक मैं क्विकली आपको बता देता हूँ. कैम्स का एक मेल बैक रिपोर्ट है WBR9, जहाँ पे कि पैन और आधार नॉट लिंक, पैन विदाउट फोलियोस, पैन विदाउट नॉमिनेशन डिटेल्स आपको मिल जाएगी. इसके अलावा ऑब्वियसली आप हमारे ब्रांच टीम के कांटेक्ट में हैं, तो इफ यू कम टू आवर ब्रांचेस, then our branch team can obviously help you with the data. Each branch has the data specific to its branch. If you need any clarification on the process, आप हमारे call center को phone कर सकते हैं. और client अगर उनके पास HPIN है या login ID है, तो वो अगर हमारे पोर्टल पे लॉगिन करेंगे तो उनको अपने नॉमिनेशन का भी स्टेटस दिख जाएगा. ऑब्वियसली पैन पैटर्न नहीं है तो वो शायद लॉगिन नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन अगर पैन और पैटर्न है और तो अगर उनको नॉमिनेशन का स्टेटस देखना है तो वो लॉगिन कर सकते हैं. सो दैट्स द ब्रॉड थिंग.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.